off-country, immediately. Welcome once more to all of you out there. Yes, yes, the stories continue. The show must go on, and certainly our band of intrepid heroes have found themselves the center of much attention in Korvosa. While their names remain hidden, their actions have begun to have results. And certainly, the safety of the city is important. But now, a new change, more fire, more anger returns to Korvosa. Yes, assassin, murderer, who took out the beloved king of Korvosa, who drove the city to madness, who are we going to take our anger out on? That question raises to the city, and so it's now our time for our heroes to do the one thing that might not happen. Justice. Capture this would-be assassin. Bring them to the authorities. Perhaps there could still be justice in Korvosa, and the mob shall rule. Well, everybody, welcome to the Crimson Queen. Yes, we return to Korvosa. As, if you missed last week, there was a massive investigation of a Chilaxian Abaster discovering their dirty secret and gathering evidence about it, and you did find nudes of someone. You did. You found some. Hey, look, when you're rich and you can make magic nudes for each. Yes. Look, I'm going to tell you here. The idea of the illusionary nudes, I'm like, what's the stupidest thing that rich people would do with magic? And I'm like, especially if you're having a weird affair, illusionary nudes. I'm knocking along. Magic does that kind of... That's also probably... Yeah. They probably don't have they don't have stats for them, but they probably do exist. I'm not gonna lie. Too bad. Hi, Foggy. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by a tiny cat that's, like, wandering around next to me. Okay. So, yes. The woman who is, Trinia Sabor, is an artist that was doing the king's portrait around the time he got sick and continued to do it through his illness. That's the main connection to possibly being assassin. It seems that there is some kind of evidence that was gathered, but again, the evidence really hasn't been heavily reviewed by Cressida Croft, and she feels like maybe it doesn't sound like it's, you know, super solid evidence from what people said. So she's like, look, maybe she did do it, but I want at least an opportunity for investigation. If I take it to the courts might railroad her, but at least we're pretending to, like, you know, go with the keep some order in the city. And it might... Yeah, it's Trinia Sabor. I'll put it in chat here. Trinia Sabor. Don't ask me. They love fantasy names. Sometimes they do, but rarely. So, you were given information that you know that Trinia lives in Midland, and you have her address. That was her last known address. Whether she's there or not, at least it's a place to start with. 42 Moon Street, yes. So, it's a start. You have a wagon that you can use, whether you're taking it with you right now, or you're just putting it somewhere in Midland or something like that, that's up to you. But it should be it's useful for if you need to smuggle a person out of somewhere, you at least have a wagon. And you do have a relative, writ of authority so that you could probably avoid groups here, but your authority isn't great. You might be able to excuse yourself from, mobs, or maybe the Hell Knights, maybe? But anybody from the Royal Palace that's going there, probably the new group of guards, if they're involved, or the new group of, city defenders, I should say, they might not listen to you. They're, they've got an authority above yours, because, unfortunately, Cressida is not in a great position. She's attempting her best to keep the city guard, in order, but Sable Company is already being replaced. She's not sure if she can, depending on the situation here. There's a lot of frustration from a lot of people. Understandably, the city's been in shit. So, anyway. What are you doing? You have a wagon. You've handed in all your stuff. You're at the fortification here. It seems as though that with the order no longer to be going after this would-be assassin, the guards themselves are organizing into bands to try to shore up areas of the city as, there is rising tensions again and more mobs are beginning to appear again, so they're attempting to not allow things to spiral out of control as bad as they did previously, but hard to say if it's going to be successful. They really don't have new people. They're just, Midland. I have to get out my Korvosa information here. That's one thing I forgot to open. I keep forgetting to upload the map. Did I share a map with everybody? Did I save? Well, that's gonna mess with the stream, so yeah. Remind me on break. Yeah, remind me on break, and I'll try to get that together on break to get the map into the game. So yeah, Midland is where there's merchant shops, financial institutions. It's basically, you're not far from this location because this is the headquarters of the Korvosan Guard and the Sable Company were here. Well, again, I'll pin it. I'll put it into the game. Yeah, I gotta put it in the thing. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um, 42 Moon Street. You also know that, there are already warnings that why the guards were going to kind of go out, because unlike last time where a lot of the rioters were things like Old Korvosa, there's groups of rioters that are already forming in Midland, that they don't know her address, she just knows that she's in this area, so they're beginning a search for her. So, the area, once you've left the fortification here, it is a more dangerous area, too, I will note right now. Things are a little chaotic. Oh, you're muted on stream. Sorry.
Didn't want to get too deep into it, actually.
32 Moon Street.
Is that her address?
That's the last known
42
address.
Moon Street.
That's the last known location of her.
Okay. Yeah, or her last known address, like where she lived. So that's not even last known scene.
Okay. It's a good place.
It's probably good. It's probably good. We talked about weird magical things.
Mm-hmm.
No, we didn't talk about that on stream, so we're good.
Yeah, thank God we didn't.
Yeah.
I think going to her place then.
Yeah, let's go to her house and see if we can find some clues or talk to some neighbors.
Yeah, I think we should take, like I said, I think we should take the wagon with us, because...
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if you take the wagon with you just straight up, you're going to have to find a way to avoid main streets with it, because I'm sorry, there are roving rioters that are not going to take kindly to people, that just are, the guards have been clashes with them, but people are just upset and are taking it out on people wandering the streets right now. A lot of buildings and stuff have already kind of shut up.
I think we leave the wagon and we send a couple people to get it, and we keep a couple people with her when we're fine. Because getting a wagon through rioting streets is going to be fairly difficult.
I mean, the person who could go back and get the wagon the easiest would probably be Ada.
Yeah, let's not really worry about who's going to go back. Let's find their target first.
Okay.
Not only
Because
am
it
I
might
the
be
person with the ride skill, I'm also the person who can fly back. So
yeah, two inches.
It's probably best we find the person first, and then discern our next steps. Because the riding of the streets might change by the time we find her, where we might have to find alternative methods.
Okay.
Are we gonna park it closer or leave it at the Citadel?
We can't park it closer and have it be safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be worried about that too, unless someone stayed with the wagon.
If we find a disguise self scroll, if we could buy a disguise self scroll, that might be actually good enough where we don't need the wagon if she doesn't look like herself for an hour or 10 minutes. 10 minutes not enough. Well, 10 minutes might be enough.
Depends how far she is.
Maybe not. So.
I don't know. Which spell?
Can also just, disguise ourselves.
Yeah, well, anyone got the disguise skill?
Similar to what happened with the old Korvosa, as a kind of boiling point for a lot of tension before, it feels as though Midland is repeating that, but it's a different kind of area. Old Korvosa, certainly both regions have their kind of stuffed, filled-in areas, but the area of Old Korvosa, it's a very kind of like dirty, dingy, more broken down buildings, it's got a lot more age. Here it's a lot newer. Like, things felt like they're built a lot better, but you still have these riotous people, anger, a couple fires breaking out. Nothing as serious, like these huge explosions and stuff, but certainly already things are breaking down in this area to a kind of level of anarchy. Mob justice is beginning to kind of take over the entire area just a little bit. People are becoming angry, but you manage to kind of sneak your way. Avoiding the main streets kind of avoids most of the mobs, fortunately. And you can make your way towards Moon Street. Moon Street is an interesting area. It is incredibly dense, filled area of the city, where the streets are very tiny, kind of squished in there, maybe wide enough for a single cart. If you're on the ground level, you rarely see sunlight. Above you, there are catwalks, overhanging roofs, laundry, rope bridges, boards to kind of create a tangle of multi-layer kind of floors on upper levels that make this entire area feel like it's multiple floors and an entire region of them built on top of each other rather than just multiple floors of buildings, as they're so interconnected. And this kind of region is probably why, when you get into some of the areas of Midlands, honestly, Trini hasn't been found yet. She lives in a very dense, populated area that's kind of like really hard to navigate. The area that she would be up in is towards the upper layers, in an area closer to the gutters, upper floors, rooftops, an area of this sprawl known as the Shingles.
Oh, I know the Shingles. That's where I
Yeah.
lived.
Mhm.
Woo. Does it give you like what was it? Where does it give you like a general area in Midland that this house is located? Like, is there anything that's like near?
The description I gave is what it's near. It's just like crowded neighborhood. There isn't any like major.
Yeah.
things there.
Well, I was asking if
It's
there's any
near,
landmarks.
it's near Gurzgiz's den.
Yeah, I can try to look up some extra stuff from the Midlands.
On the map, it's
That's good.
H13. It says
Oh,
Trion
okay.
is flat.
I understand. Okay.
Oh, it's on that map you have. It has it listed.
Oh, great. Okay, I see now. Thank you. Thank you. I was
I
just
mean,
trying to get an idea.
it's not going to give us the exact location, really, because our characters aren't going to know this, but it's listed on the map.
No, I
there.
got you. Yeah, I just wanted.
I might have to find it. Oh, I see. There might be a better map that has less like strange things marked on it, like trees placed there. It's kind of weird for it to mark.
Yeah.
I mostly just ignore those and look at
Yeah.
the major marks, like the temples and the restaurants.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I see. It's near the university.
Yeah,
Or
it's
the
south of
cabin.
the university.
Yeah, south of the
it's-
university, north of the slope.
Yeah.
North of the slope.
Yeah, it's bangs back in the middle of Midland, which is pretty rough. Ooh, I wonder. Yeah. Well, we can consider.
Well,
like,
we're going to go to the address that we know and
Yeah, see if she's
start
even
from there.
She's probably not. We'll find out soon enough.
But that's the only clue we have to go on right now, so.
No, I'm on your page.
Yeah. So, all right. You can head for the address. The area is quiet. The entire building that she's at is a series of, multi-level apartments that are connected together, as I kind of described, where she's living up towards the top floor. The mobs are just busy kind of moving along the area, and a lot of buildings and places are kind of like closed up. Though you do get the sense when you begin wandering this, kind of like moving through the streets in this area, there are people staring out of windows and things like that, cracked windows and stuff that, people are observing your presence here. You are a group. You're not the mob, but you're a group that seems to be here for who knows what reason. The building itself that she seems to be living in is an old tenement. It's 3 floors high, with probably a few dozen flats within it.
I presume we got a flat number, or
You do not.
oh my god.
There board that lists people's
Probably
names
not,
and
no.
apartment number.
Question.
Some have those in
Since I have lived in the Shingles, can I try a knowledge local to see if I have any idea? If I've heard of her, like...
You probably wouldn't.
I mean, yeah, would you really?
I know
about
it's
this
really...
artist?
I really know it's like a needle
Can
in a
you reach a
haystack.
DC like 30?
No.
Yeah, like she's not important in the
I have
city.
plus 3.
She's like a relatively new artist / low known artist. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
if you
your
live in
job
this
for the
area.
king, though.
There's also like, oh yeah, no, she managed to catch the eye of the king with her art and stuff like that, which is great. This was probably her. Depending on the circumstances, this could have been like the big break if the king hadn't ended up dying and or if she wasn't involved in the assassination. Just as the thought of it, an artist like her getting to paint the king, big break for it. But this is also an area filled with lots of artists and performers and stuff like that. In fact, probably this building here, most of the tenants are probably people similar to her. This area of the district is known for a lot of starving artists to basically be hanging out. People that are still trying to make their way, but, do enough usually to support themselves in a relative, in quotation, middle-class lifestyle. Hence why this is like they're not hanging out in Old Korvosa, they're hanging out here. Still
It's a little bit nicer.
It's a little bit nicer. But yeah, artists, artisans, singers, students. I would tell you without an knowledge local check, you know that a lot of people, hang out in this area of the shingles and stuff like this, in the flats here.
Well,
we never saw the painting, right?
Saw nothing about it.
Okay.
It's going to be. It would be in the palace.
Guess
you don't.
We can just start knocking, I guess, asking.
Yeah, but if that name's already being thrown around, do you think it's a good idea to be directly asking about her?
No,
to
but
random
we can.
people.
I look to see if there's a building owner. Perhaps there's a building owner who might be able to tell us where she lives.
Yeah, well, the problem is talking about her name. I can discreetly try to gather the information at a -10. By which we can make to just a roll of gather information of whether she is even here.
Well, yes,
The best
but
I
at
can
least-
do is distract the rioters.
Please just
The riders
We
aren't
get
close right now.
Did we get a
Yeah.
description?
landlord.
This
that's
lady.
the word. At least we can ask the landlord if there's a landlord. we could
You
ask
probably
him.
have a very general description of her. I will.
Like if I knocked on all these doors and I had a lady answer them, would I be able to be like, yeah, that's probably her?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you want to be the weirdo knock on everyone's doors, though?
Do you have any other ideas? We can't really go
No.
around speaking this name even to the landlord.
Knocking on every door might tip her off if she's here, and she might just leave.
Well, that's why we have everyone watch the exits. This is a
That's-
normal person. They're not going to jump out any window.
I'm going to tell you, it
also
would be
the
very
shingle.
hard to watch the exits because remember I said there's like jank, connections between
Yeah.
buildings all over on
This
different
is the
floors.
shingles.
Catwalks and rope bridges.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of escape points from a lot of these buildings.
This is Aladdin's dream.
Well,
Fire hazard waiting to happen.
do you?
That's
I
also
mean,
true.
Do we think we're gonna? We can't bring up her name, right? Because if we bring her name to the owner of this building, if they're even here, that's gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, let's go kill her or some shit. You know what I mean? So we can knock that person out with a sleep, and then
I think that would be the safest person to ask, maybe. Since she's a paying tenant, he might not just be like, yeah.
I can convince. Me and you, Khandes, we could try to convince them to let justice happen. Whatever that is, even in the States.
Yeah.
And I guess that is our.
Ivana will kind of
maneuver?
slightly raise her hand, very shyly.
Yes.
I'm very good at threatening people into giving information.
Back up.
I mean, if you want me to knock some heads together, I could do
That
as well.
doesn't stop them from rallying the
If
neighbors
they're
after
scared
they leave.
enough, it will.
First, let's try honey, then, if need, vinegar.
It's the opposite way around.
You
Well,
attract
if you
more
want
flies
the
with honey.
information, we probably shouldn't threaten them with bodily harm first. Let's ask information and then see if they realize what we're asking. Because we don't want to start it off with them being keyed off. They might not recognize why we're asking our question. And if they do recognize it, they might recognize it after we've already left.
Yeah,
Does that
that's
seem
what I'm saying.
satisfactory?
I think it's best to start with honey, and then
Well,
That
don't even
doesn't
start with
work.
honey. Let's not even present any treats until we discern we need them.
I'm saying nice words. That's all.
Are we okay with this maneuver? This plan?
So, who are we talking to?
We're trying to see if
Hopefully
there's
a
a building
landlord.
owner.
Okay,
Landlord.
Or
Good.
stupid.
Okay.
so approaching the front door of the building, It's barricaded.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hello? Anyone home? We have an inquiry.
You'll kind of hear a noise from across the street as like some shutters will kind of open a little bit of like, "Oi! Quiet down! You want to attract some attention around here?"
I'm gonna. Is there a window on the first floor at all, or a shuttered window?
Sure.
I'm gonna walk over to that and knock on it.
Hey!
I will turn to the.
Quiet down!
You're
Ideally,
making
we
more
are
noise
trying to
now.
attack. Ideally, we are trying to attract the attention of whoever's here.
Why?
That is the point.
Don't be telling this to random people.
No one's responding in that window.
Do you know if
Anyway.
anyone's home? I
Well,
gesture.
That second bit is our business.
I gestured to the guy that's yelling at us. Is anyone here?
Maybe. Not for me to know.
Well,
I'm gonna
just keep a
start
lookout to
walking
keep my
around the
people safe.
building.
That'll be
I
hard as the buildings are kind of squished up to
Okay.
each other. It's
Can
like,
we
like row house almost, or townhouse or something. Like, there's the rows of buildings kind of almost squished to each other with occasional, alleyways go between them.
Is this window actually made of glass, or is it like shutters?
There's shutters. There could be glass behind it, but all the windows are, shuttered, shut, it looks like, at very least.
Just open up the shutters. I mean,
I'll turn to. Yeah. and
Well,
I'll turn
they're,
to-
latched from the inside, so you can break them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say to the
Okay.
guy.
Alright, so as
You
soon as you
wouldn't.
break open... Okay, make a strength check to
I
break them
ask
open.
if you. I mean, I asked them to do it. They don't have to
Yeah.
do it.
I'm gonna say,
I'm-
are you sure we might
I'm-
upset whoever's in there, and then it's less
I'm-
likely they want to give us.
Do you have
information?
any better ideas of getting inside?
Ada, could you
I'm-
look around?
Points to person
I'm
wins.
talking.
Sorry.
I'm talking to the other person in the window. I say, you're like, do you know the people here? Are you? You said your people. Does that mean you own the building?
No! What do
Talking
you...
about his people on that side of the street.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he owns that building. Landlords tend to know each other.
No one owns any buildings, lives here. Why would they?
That's fair.
That's a good point.
Might be a super.
Well,
Nah, it's rich nobles of Korvosa. They're not going to be that nice. Well, no, there could be some.
They might have someone who lives in there, and it's basically rent. They take care of the building for the owner.
They'd probably do that. They don't want to come here.
Yeah.
there's someone who knows these grounds then. Just someone we can talk to?
Look, I don't know what you're after or what you're doing here, but things are going crazy. You do notice people with, swords and spears and pitchforks and fire wandering around the place. Right? Whatever you're doing,
I look
find-
at a group who's
go
also
home
well-armed.
and get saved. Look, you look
Well,
tough and all, but look, you want to get in contact with there's 5 of you and 30 of them.
They're trying to get things. We're trying to help anyone. We're trying to help those we can.
He kind of you can see him looking around
Stop
kind
trying
of
to reason
confused.
with him. Let us just
What?
do our business and stop caring about it.
Help who? This random building? Everybody's hiding.
let us
I'm nice
be
enough to
proactive.
talk to you, okay? Look, I'm sorry that I don't know what the hell you're doing, but it's just I wouldn't do it. Whatever you're doing, not worth it. Stay safe. You don't seem like terrible rioters or looters or stuff like that, unless you're really good at hiding that.
We're trying. Oh, okay. I'm not good at lying though. I have an idea, but I'm not gonna lie. Oh well, I'll try it anyway. We were hired by a family member to get someone in this building out of our out of danger.
All right, please give me a bluff check. I'm gonna. Yep. It might work. I might give you a bonus.
Nice.
Didn't say it very confidently.
Yeah.
You stuttered. You're like thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're really. Look.
They could roll a 1.
Yeah, I rolled. And it was the 1.
Aw.
Look, regardless
that
of
wasn't
why you're here, doesn't really matter. I don't think anybody's gonna listen to you right now. Not with all the things going on. You want to try to drag someone kicking and screaming? Well, good luck on it. I don't think the mob will take kindly when they notice that. Gave him my warning. Just luck. Closes the thing. Leaves. And you hear a couple of latches then on the inside.
Well, it was a good attempt. If only I were better at lying.
I don't think he had any information to give us.
Ada,
True, but it was worth a shot.
could
Don't
you
break open
maybe...
the window now.
Well, I was going to say maybe fly up to roof, see if there's another way in.
There are several floors, it looks like. I'll see what I can find.
Since normally, there are rope ladders and such connecting to different buildings, maybe there's another way that we can enter that's not...
How do you have a question? If I look along the walls, do I notice any gaps or holes that say a small creature could fit through?
Oh. So, I think small, no.
Oh,
It
hold
seems
on.
as
Let me look
though-
at what the size of a weasel is.
It seems as though like the buildings here aren't like flush with each other, but they're like they're like built in such a way that it's a very thin kind of area between it. So it's like it's not something you normally would think about for passing through. But maybe a weasel might be able to squeeze.
I got a small ass gecko, bro. My gecko
Alright.
could definitely fit.
I pull out
Gecko's tiny, and a gecko could probably maybe squeeze too.
a weasel
Okay,
from my bag.
so
What's
Sir-
familiar at level 3?
Well, I guess they'll go in and I'm gonna search above.
okay.
Send in my finger to try and unlock the window.
What time is it?
That'll be a difficult task for a little mammal, but it's an effort.
Probably
It's a beady little weasel.
probably evening actually, because it's the same day that you had gone to the
Yeah.
ambassador's place.
Delivers touch spells now. Not very useful.
Also, I do
Ada.
want to say, like, weasels are very good at squeezing into tight spaces.
That's
like
true.
One of their things.
Yeah.
So you could probably get your animals into the building. They can probably find a way in. I'm not gonna deny that there are plenty of places that are probably like not. Like honestly speaking, the door is probably not necessarily the best secured. The front door, because it's barricaded.
Yeah.
You know, stuff was put in the way to prevent people from opening. Doesn't mean people haven't tried before, or like it's not a little bit ajar or something. So, Ada, if you're going to look around the outside of the building, I need you to give me a perception check, and then I will need to know what animals that are going inside the building will do afterwards. Can't see if using perception. Alright, so Ada, I'll tell you what you see. There are a number of other entrances for the 3 different floors, plus it does look like there is general a rooftop entrance. But because a lot of the buildings are interconnected, it looks as though it's a lot more obvious on those upper floors that more barricades have been put in place. They probably aren't as well barricaded as the lower floors, but also because a lot of the windows that are on the upper floors tend to be built in such a way that they, what's the best way to say this? You could probably get to some of the walkways from many of the windows, not all of them. They also, they continue to be shuttered all the way up too, So the building is relatively shut down tight, but if you wanted to go to one of the upper floors, it would probably be easier to push your way than on the front floor.
And less obvious, probably.
Probably. They would still probably be relatively noisy on that floor, but, you know...
But also, you're not attracting attention on the street itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
It also...
Yep,
Yeah, it also looks like there is, like, there's a kind of a back alley area. There isn't a back door in the alley area, just more, like, kind of windows back there. It looks as though most of the windows that are kind of squeezed in there are just enough to get, like, you know, some light, even if it's not, like, direct natural light, because the shadows of everything up above, you at least have ventilation in some of the lower rooms and stuff. Probably in that kind of, like, squeeze in between buildings, there's probably, like, windows that you can kind of open up, but they don't go anywhere. They're just to have, like, oh, there's a little bit of ventilation to my room that's in the middle of the building. This place wasn't built with, like, fire codes or anything like that.
They didn't have them back then.
No! They tried to squeeze as many buildings as they could in a small area. So.
How many times did London catch fire?
Their fire code is a sign that says "Do not cast fireball in this area."
Not wrong.
So the two familiars can squeeze their way into the kind of main hallway of the building. That's probably the easiest place to squeeze into. One that other places maybe they could squeeze into, but this is the one that they could probably access very early. It's kind of like an opening floor with a staircase towards the back of the building that leads up. There's approximately about 4 apartments on every floor. Or, I'm sorry, 8 apartments on every floor. Yeah, because there's about 24 apartment or flats in here. There's basically a hallway in the middle with a staircase and then 4 doors on either side of the hall. And that's how it's kind of formatted. So probably you got, like, the ones that are towards the street or the back alley get windows that actually go somewhere, and then the 2 middle on either side get, you know, fake windows. At least give you some ventilation.
Okay.
Do they want to go anywhere? While they're here? I don't know how much control command they
We don't have a lot of control over these things yet.
Okay.
We could empathetically tell them to look for a door to open.
Yeah. I could try and empathetically tell my familiar to try and open up one of the windows.
But we never get pure telepathy. That's only a 5e thing.
Well, for me, because Wizard, at level 5, I can just talk to it as if we share a language.
Yeah, you can verbally speak to it.
Yeah.
That's the
So I
same
could
as
give it commands that way, but I think there's a feed for the telepathy.
Yeah, certainly you can, give your things commands, I guess, kind of like see what they can find. They could try to squeeze in under some doors in there. I'm going to say, I don't think they have the ability to open any of these windows.
I imagine not.
Yeah.
It'd be more like try and find an entrance is what I would tell it.
Yeah. It can find plenty of entrances it can squeeze through.
Yeah.
Ones that you can't squeeze through is kind of difficult. Certainly, probably the best bet would be any of the barred entrances or the windows.
I think opening the
Trying to
windows.
minimize damaging a window that's
Well,
to
we could-
someone's home.
Anyone got points of disabled device?
No.
Surely, that is what the
Maybe
party
I'll-
lacks. A rogue.
Maybe,
Every
okay.
party's not a lax dude with disabled device, let's be real.
I mean, I could put a point into it this time. So.
It's not a classical, which is why it sucks. But that is
Yeah,
what it
it's
is.
a little rough.
Consideration.
At least I'll have it trained, and I have decks.
I mean, does it even require? If we got like just a thin metal rod We could shove between the shutters. We could unlock it pretty easily.
Hold on.
We could tear down the barricades much more easily on the upper floor. Climb up.
Well, we can't get to the upper floor.
I could
I have
try.
rope.
I looked at.
I have-
how,
I have-
are there?
I can't climb a rope.
Are there there are barred windows all the way up, or like the shutters are all the way up? I assume, right?
Yes.
So I would like
Um,
to. Hold on, let me look at the range of the spell.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure the window is not going to be more than 30 feet above me. Just to test one of them.
Okay, yeah.
I'll point at one on the second floor and cast open close.
Okay.
That would totally work.
Open.
Wait, did that
It is
unlock a thing?
It would be to test if it's locked.
Okay, okay.
Because it cannot open something that's locked. That would require some that a leveled spell.
Good thought, though.
I will
prepared
tell
for
you.
their break-in, and then we never use it.
Yeah, I will tell you. Certainly, it does seem as though there is some kind of bar on it, at least, or maybe latch or something. It looks as though, yeah. So there's a bar on a door or a lock on a chest. So, yeah. It moves a little bit, but it doesn't open, and you can tell, like, from this like jangle, that's probably at least one latch is on
I'll
there.
try a couple. Like, I'll try like 3 or 4 just to get a
Is that a
good.
cantrip?
Yeah, it is just a cantrip. It's a level 0 spell, open close.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has some good uses, like you can open a door or a window or something from afar, without being next to it.
It's pretty good.
That
And
is
then
nice.
it's like the level 0 version of Knock or whatever.
Unfortunately, it looks as though, at very least, on this side of the building, you'd have to kind of like way walk around the alleyway. All the people that were here did latch their windows.
Well, they are locked, but very weakly.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell they're not like the way that they move. They're not super well
Yeah,
secured.
I mean,
if you really wanted to break
I'm
them,
sure we could break in. It's just I was trying not to
Yeah.
piss anyone off.
No, I understand.
If we want to go in this way, I think we will have to break into one of the windows. I'm afraid. I could mend. Well, I was gonna say I could mend. I don't have mending prepared. I can't do that.
I do not have mending prepared either, so.
Sorry, I have prestidigitation, open, close, go,
Yeah,
silent,
guidance.
detect magic, open. So
Look, if necessary, I could carry some of you up to higher levels if we need to.
Do we feel there's a big difference between breaking a lower level window versus a higher level window?
Well, we
I
could
don't know.
move the barricades easier up top. Ada said.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the barricades are also not at the windows; they're at like the doorway kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we break
Oh,
into
yeah,
a
that's fine.
hallway, which is probably better anyway, because we don't want to break into some.
Breaking into a
person's
hallway
house.
is versus breaking into someone's apartment.
Yeah.
Sure. If we wanna do that, that sounds fine to me.
Khandes,
Okay.
give me the rope, and I'll fly up and tie it up, and then I'll carry those who do not want to climb a rope.
I cannot climb a rope. Not
You are
want,
very-
it is reality.
You are very noodle armed.
Well, that is what happens when you grow up with lamb.
Okay. I hand you my silk rope.
Oh, fancy rope.
Anyway,
It's very fine, nice rope. It's
Very
you know,
soft.
it's soft to the
Pleasure.
touch. You know, it doesn't feel like it'll shake your hands and all. This is the best rope you've
When I
felt
was
in
younger-
a long time.
I'm not very
But I
for
was-
grip it, though.
When I was younger, I thought silk rope was made of spiders.
That actually
Well,
would have
that's
been
like
cooler.
the picture
not
I
gonna
had
lie.
in my head.
No, it
It was like a rope made of like
not.
spider silk.
That does seem a lot cooler.
I'm sure you could get that, but it'd probably be very expensive.
Yeah, it'd also
Yeah.
be very bad as a rope.
And
because
also
it'd be sticky.
horribly
Yeah, I was gonna
unethical.
say it'd be very
Uh,
sticky.
well, no, because there are two types of spider web. One of them's sticky and one of them's not.
Look,
Yes,
okay, don't ruin my headcanon.
Where you can get spider silk cloth, it is, however, just very expensive.
All right. Sure. What floor are you going up to? Second or third?
Third.
Okay. So you can
I
head up to the
require to
third.
be carried.
You'll be able to maneuver all of you up to like a rope bridge that seems to cross between this building at kind of like an angle to not the building right across the way, but kind of like a little to the side of it. There's like a little bit of a almost like vague balcony area that's been built here. The thing is, beyond the rope bridge having like actual like things you can put your hands on. When you're outside at that little balcony, it's don't get too close to the edge. Safety is also something that these people really don't take into account because they build this thing really jankily themselves.
It's not built to code, you know.
Yeah.
There is no code, I think.
Why do you Korvosans build bridges like you're trying to ride a horse?
I don't live here, so this is not my. I don't know.
This is the way they live. There isn't
People
consideration.
do what
to
they
it.
do to live.
It is a necessity for this area of the city.
Honestly, I thought about it. There's probably like a little bit of like a vague rooftop garden up here too, like at the top of the roof. They probably have a couple of those in some of these buildings, but not all of them, because not all of them have roof space. This one has a little bit of one. It's kind of like a little bit of almost like a roofing to a small area where you can come out at an entrance from a trapdoor, and so it looks like someone's planted some plants up there. The trapdoor was sealed, but you're at the 3rd floor now, where there's this kind of vaguely. It looks as though like what had happened was someone removed the window and kind of put like a small sort of fitting door in its place. So the door itself fits enough, but then you can see that it looks like, a couple pieces of furniture were put on the other side. Not as, like, piled down and below, but certainly there's some, like, furniture that's kind of blocking this door that probably can get latched from the inside normally. But it also looks like, if you really try to, you could probably open the latch. It's not too difficult, like, to open it. Anyway, you're at the 3rd floor on the country balcony, yeah. So you can click the latch and then just push the stuff out of the way. So if someone wants a strength check to manhandle some furniture out of the way.
That's for the strong people.
I'm sorry, person handle, I guess we should say.
Khandes is slightly stronger than me, so.
If there's
No, he's
ever a
not.
point where Lucia and myself...
Khandes kind of like thwumps against it. It's like you just hear, ooh!
Oh, my shoulder! I pulled that muscle.
If
That's
there's
gonna
ever a
take it.
point where Lucia or myself have to roll a strength check, something has gone horrifically wrong.
Yeah. Let me just roll one real quick.
Yeah, let me stick to yours.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is giving me flashes of what the hell was that movie? The
Gamers.
Gamers.
Yep.
With the knees, Rogar. With the knees.
Yep. Anyway, so Ada, you'll be able to Khandes kind of like knocks into it and it kind of like drags a little bit, but it almost feels like it gets stuck. And so I'm gonna say it's sort of like ow, it kind of got stuck, and then you're like. Then rather than, Khandes steps away, you both then work together. You're just rolling it this time, so it's sort of like, alright, together then, and then you kind of bash into it a second time, and this time it kind of like, with the kind of scraping and clattering, the large piece of probably like an armoire or something that was on top kind of topples over, and the desk that was underneath kind of scrapes against the floor. So it is loud when you push it out of the way, because it kind of got stuck the first time. But you are on the 3rd floor now.
Huzzah.
We won against the door, guys. This was truly a most difficult task.
You're in the building.
Besides the sarcasm, question remains how we will find our individual. There's
Look for someone who's got a well-decorated door. I know. What voice was I doing?
I don't know.
So
we think the painter, the
Okay.
obvious painter is gonna leave
Now-
obvious marks that they're a painter. Probably not.
now there's
People
something
like
you
their,
can see in here that does anybody? Okay,
I have dark vision.
What's everybody's take 10?
Sure.
So you're
Four?
kind of like you're passive.
12.
Perception?
Oh, wait, no,
12.
16. 16, sorry.
16. Yeah. What if you took a 10?
15.
What'd you have? 16.
Well,
Anybody of 15 or higher can easily notice it looks as though they put little nameplates on the doors.
I mean, I'm
that's
not saying-
actually impressive.
It looks as though there's like just a place where like a little piece can be slid in there with a name on it, just to like, you know, so you know whose place it is.
Is it dark in here?
Not really. You've got like there is like, this was like a window area, so like the area that was removed to make a door only took out like most of the window. There's a little bit left in there, and not only that is your giant gaping hole in the wall is there, plus probably
also,
like,
yeah, how close is it to sunset? Because you said it was
evening, so like it's probably getting dark at this point in time, and it looks as though, I will say, it does look like there are normally lanterns in here that can be lit, but they aren't. Probably that, you know, person that looks after things probably lights them for a little while in the evening, just so there's some light for people to come back, and then lets them burn out. But he's probably not leaving his room. Your groundskeeper person you mentioned that now exists.
Yeah, like superintendent.
Anyway, so yeah, it's probably low light, kind of a little dark in here. So with those with your dark vision, perfectly fine. Hey. Anyway, there's a nameplate like there that looks awfully familiar.
It's Steve's nameplate?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
It's Tony, the Half-Orc.
It's Tony the Half-Orc. Get out of here.
But there is a nameplate for Trini Sabor.
That's
Yes.
the default name for Half-Orc, Tony.
Tony
It's
the
yeah. One of the doors just says Hookshanks.
Hookshanks. Let's go kill that guy.
I'd
knock.
knock on the door.
There's no response.
We're friends.
Oh yeah,
Good job
that's
so
good.
far.
Avon calling.
I mean,
Oh, God.
nothing you can say is gonna
I'm
make it
curious.
sound
Was her thing actually on the third floor, or did you just give that to
Yes, it was on the third floor. I
guessed correctly.
yeah, you know, I
Right,
knew it was the third floor.
Chad.
We're so good
Your way
at
into that one.
D&D, guys.
I like
All planned.
shrug. How do we want to open the door? I look at
Can we open the other
Khandes.
one?
I assume it's locked.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Breaking a door is not that difficult. It probably has a shitty bolt.
Look, you should just, if you're in there, please open the door.
So we don't
wanna-
break it.
We don't want to cause
Okay, wait.
property damage. We only want to speak to you.
Question:
We're here to help, actually.
Does this is the apartment up against a wall that would lead to the outside?
Oh God.
Yes.
I'm gonna go outside and try and find where the window might be that matches that apartment.
Sure. It's easily found. Window
Okay.
seems closed up.
Cool. I will wait there.
Okay.
You want me to?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
There's a break DC, I'm finding it. Okay, I presume this is a simple door.
Yes.
That's a DC 13 strength check.
This is
Break
really
down a
gonna make
simple
her
door.
like us, guys.
Well, I
Well-
only have to roll a 9.
Sure, she might not be in here.
She's definitely not in here.
Okay. Yeah, the door flies open with a kind of cracking. Inside is a one-room flat. It's got some amenities of a bedroom, a kitchen, and honestly a painter's studio. There really isn't a lot of space for anything. It's all kind of squished in here. It does look like there's evidence that someone was in here pretty recently. There's some cheese and bread that seems pretty recent, near to a number of water skins that kind of sit on one of the counters in the kitchen area. And there's an easel in one of the corners where you can see that there is this half-completed painting that seems to be an imp in a half house drake fighting atop a church steeple. And of course then there's the window that you can kind of, even through the cracks of it and through the bits through the kind of where you can stare through the shutters, you can see it looks out into the rooftop tangle of rooftops, and below that window is a bed. It seems kind of
You can see
tangled,
this,
massive.
you can
It's
see the
probably
silhouette
shadow
of
of
the dragon.
Yeah, the silhouette of an 8 outside of it. The bed is messy. Looks as though that someone's used it probably relatively recently, but also didn't put it back together. Kind of left it in shambles. The blankets just the sheets just kind of left kind of thrown apart.
Mm-hmm. Can I make a survival check to see if I can see any tracks or anything in here?
Sure.
Not bad.
So, definitely this place looks like it's been lived in. And that's the first thing. It's very hard to kind of tell the difference between older or newer tracks. But you will notice something that does particularly stand out. When you're investigating around the bed area, you will notice two things. It looks like there's a slight indentation in the straw mattress in such a way that looks as though, and also kind of like some stains of paint in one of the areas on the kind of sheet over the mattress that looks as if someone stepped there. There's also a similar marking on the window.
I'll open the window and unlatch it. Also, so Ada can...
The thing is, this one isn't latched.
Oh.
You didn't check the third floor ones. And specifically, and this one isn't.
I'll open it. Hi.
Yeah.
Is there any paint out there?
You're muted.
Yeah,
It was very poison ready to yeah, poison ready, and you open the door. I'm like, oh wait.
It wasn't latched. Do you see any paint out here?
Oh. Can I make a perception check?
Sure.
Or survival if you want that too. The tracking.
Either or if you want to try it. Unfortunately, the entire thing is latched together with a lot of material, so you can see that there are paint stains on some of the wood here too. Whether they're new or old, you can't tell. The fact is that, again, they didn't have, nice lumber to make this stuff. They probably had jank pieces of furniture and old pieces of furniture and stuff to make these, rope bridges and stuff, and cobble them together with, some, wooden sort of steps of whatever they could make and, latch things. So, whether or not there's a trail here, you can't tell.
Nothing I can see. Nothing I can see.
I'll stick my head out and look around.
Sure. I'll have you give me a perception for that one, because you're not really able to get close up on the survival.
That's fine. Perception is even better for me, so hopefully I'll roll decently. Oh.
Okay, kind of taking a look around, you definitely can see as though, there's a lot of networks of places here. It could mean if she left out the window, certainly she could have gone to a lot of places. But there does seem to be, generally speaking, specific walkways. So if you would follow them, either you might run into a place that she would either have to pass through or done some fancy footwork to avoid. But she might be also good at the traveling through these rooftops and could be good at that fancy footwork. We don't know. Climbing over things and stuff like that, rather than going into a building.
Okay. I'm gonna search the room, see if there's anything that I can find that's out of the ordinary.
Sure. I was gonna so I'll climb in through the window and just be like, okay, and I'm also gonna help search around to see if there's any clues, maybe anything that might indicate a family or a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a perception. Are you doing survival or perception?
I'm gonna do. Sorry, go ahead first.
I think we're both doing perception. Because there isn't really a survival to what I'm doing.
Do something all important that should be done in every room that is searched. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a desk in this room while they're looking at the window? Yes
and no. There is probably a desk in here, but it looks more like it's used for a place to hold a bunch of paints and stuff, and it's probably stained with paints and stuff. So it's probably next to the easel, a desk was converted to
paint stand.
I'll be looking there specifically for any paper.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I specifically said I'm looking for something that might indicate a friend or family that she might be going to.
What's your perception?
5.
I got a
My
6.
survival and perception are both 5.
I was gonna say, do you want to assist me on the perception?
Yeah, I'll do that. Gosh dang it.
No assist.
No assist. But I got a 21.
Okay. And then, Lucia, why don't you make me check around the desk then? Just to see if you... Since you are searching separately.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I rolled so
And
well.
I'm doing a once-over with the detect magic cone.
Okay.
Over the room.
So, I will say there will not be magic in this room.
Just always gotta check and make
Yep, it's a good check. Yeah, there is none. So Lucia, you kind of take a look over it. It looks as though, again, like, you kind of, like, check the drawers and stuff. It doesn't look like she has any real actual papers in there at this point in time. Nothing that she keeps in a very obvious place you should normally keep papers. Khandes, you'll kind of take a look around the room a little bit more. You'll take a little bit longer, kind of, like, look around, and there will be a few things that stand out. Certainly speaking, you will see that she doesn't really have anything obvious for a hiding spot for anything. So that's a big thing here, too. Evidence of another person? Not really. It looks very one person, though it does look like she has things for possible guests. Like, if you check the kitchen and stuff, she has material that she could, if she uses their small kitchen to make some kind of food, she could probably have a guest. So it's probably got, like, again, it's got, like, those kind of, metal pipes, like big stoves you can kind of hear, like, the metal stoves.
Yeah.
That you can kind of, like, it's got the pipe going into, like, the roofing area that probably connects up to, like, a central one for multiple these apartments kind of things. So there's a couple probably, like, small cooking chimneys / heating chimneys on the roof, things for that. So, like, yeah, other than that, no evidence that she's had guests recently. It does look as though, you'll note that, the pile of stuff on her counter, it does look like there probably, had been more here.
But she probably took some stuff with her.
Yeah. More than likely, probably this initially would have been assembled for, let's say, the first days of the riot. And then when she left, she didn't take everything because, it's more than enough for, like, surviving in this room for a long period of time, but not enough for, like, going out somewhere very easily, taking it with you. Sort of like the way the water skins are, it's like, there should be another one here for how these are piled, kind of thing, that kind of stuff. Or, like, you notice that, like, one of the pieces of bread that's kind of towards the bottom had, like, a piece ripped off of it, or stuff like that, little things like that looks like stuff has been taken. But anyway, as you will search through the room a little bit more and look in, you will notice something over by Lucia, who had a much lower DC than you, but still managed to miss it.
Nice.
I don't have a good perception.
You're just
It's not
distracted.
allowed.
You're looking for something else.
Yeah, you're looking for something else. But you will notice a little bit of something that seems to be sticking out from behind the easel.
Not me.
Mm-hmm. There seems to be a letter that's kind of slipped in to the back part of the easel.
I'll open it up.
Mm-hmm. It's a simple letter that seems to be addressed to someone named Bez. Bez, my old friend. If you're reading this, that means either I'm dead or something terrible has happened. Something going on in town, and I need to, make leave. Get out of here. I was originally going to hang around throughout the riots, but it seems as though something's going on, and I need to keep myself safe. Whatever you hear, nothing that's true. Just keep that in mind. The story's very different than you think. I'm not going to try to defend myself or anything that's going on. Certainly have a lot of my vices. I'm glad you were a friend to me for all this time. If I truly am gone, or I don't return, flat's yours and anything you want in it. You can keep it, sell it. I won't need it. And that's it.
I read that out loud.
Bez. It might be someone who comes by often.
Probably friend, maybe someone she collaborate with.
The letter didn't. Well, if it was left here for her to find, then perhaps she does come by frequently. Yeah.
Perhaps she's even in this building. Maybe a neighbor.
It will be a little difficult to hide that someone hasn't already broken in, as I gesture to the broken-in door.
That's fine. Let's first see if there's anyone named Bez in the building.
How tall is this building?
3 stories, about
Okay.
24 flats. 8 on each floor, 4 on each side.
So
Okay,
pretty.
It's not awful.
No,
That'd be pretty quick.
The buildings are still, like, as I said, the room is pretty stuffed in here. This, like, kitchen, bedroom, work areas, all very stuffed in here.
I mean, we could easily
It's a cheap apartment.
just go 2 per floor and search the whole place really
Yeah.
quick.
There won't be anybody named Bez, I will tell you. But there is a name that might be connected to Bez.
Yeah, because that could be a nickname.
Yes. Francine Bezerin.
Yeah. Close enough.
Mm-hmm.
What floor do we find this person on?
2nd floor.
Okay.
On the back end of the building, so, like, alleyway window. And the alleyway windows don't really have very much, like, access to, like, across things, It's more for, like, the front side rooftop more than kind of
Right.
connecting.
They're middle apartment.
Yeah. Middle apartment doesn't really have a lot of connections there. Some of them do, but not the back of this building.
If we want to knock on this door,
Yes, why not?
Better than
Jehovah's
kicking him
Witness.
immediately.
I knock. Hello? Is there a Bezerin inside?
Give me perception.
I'll be listening around to see if I hear any movement.
Sure.
Wait, I just remembered something we can do.
Alright, so there's like, you hear this, like, thunk, thunk, ah, damn it, ah, crap. And then no response to you. But it's like a whispered,
Look, I'm just trying to help. I just need you to hear me out for a minute, okay?
Go away!
Look, you really would want
I'm
our help.
armed!
I'm not afraid of that.
Oh, that's
You
rude.
should be!
We want to help your friend.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no one here that you're looking for.
Look,
just leave the building.
If your friend wants to make it, she needs to help work with us. There is no other way that she gets out of this.
Give me a diplomacy check here.
And I
And with Khandes assisting.
I slide
Sure.
the letter under the door as well.
Okay, I'll add a bonus then for that.
I
I
assist.
should assist.
Oh, man, I
Oh,
didn't
oh.
even need it. I rolled good for once and just fucking...
So you slide the
Damn.
letter on the door, and then you kind of say that, and you can hear someone kind of like kind of move over very slowly, take the letter, and be like, "Look, I don't know what you think, but I don't think maybe Trinia got messed up in something. Maybe she's involved with it, but I don't think she's at fault.
It doesn't matter what I think. It matters the fact that the rest of Korvosa...
She's not the kind of person that would have done this, not in their right mind, or if someone forced her or something.
We
Sounds
want-
like something's going on.
I understand. The only way we can find the truth of it is if we can get to her and protect her.
There's mobs in street that want to hurt her. We don't want to let that happen.
Trust me, I believe there is foul play by others. But in order to guarantee her safety, we need her in our care. We can guarantee that she will be safe, and then given enough time for us to find the evidence of the truth. But we can never find that evidence if she dies to a mob. So do you know where your friend is? Or where she might have ran to?
If she's leaving, or trying to get out of the city maybe, there is someone that might help. Look. A lot of us in this area, we try to not ask a lot of questions of each other, try to be nice, help each other out as it's possible. We know Trinia. She's not the kind to do something like this, as I said. Not unless something happened that caused it, or she got accidentally involved or something. So I'm sure she can get help from the right person. He's an old man. Jarn. I'll give you some directions to where he's at. Trina's going anywhere. Jarn will be the one she's going to try to get some help.
Who is this?
He's an old teacher that used to teach bardic practices. Retired now. Still helps out with some of the younger performers and artists here in the area here. He's got some old connections. If anybody can get you on a ship out of the city from this area, he might be able to. She's probably going to him. But the things as they are, I don't know if ships are easily going. You might have a chance to catch her. Look, just...
Listen, your help will help us save her.
I'm only helping you because I don't think that it's as easy to escape as you think. Oh, but then sorry.
I don't think escaping the city now is likely to happen at all.
That's what I mean. I don't think whatever help Jarn can give, I don't think it is going to be enough to get her out. Not with all the stuff that's going on, not how the city's been crazy lately. And whatever you're going to do, at least maybe she has a chance. Sounds good. So please, just give her a chance.
Let's go.
She'll give you some directions. It is a couple of blocks away through the network, it would be
before we leave. I'm going to go back up to her room and find something of hers.
Okay. Plenty of items there that could be Trini's.
And I'm going to activate my Draconic Expect and get a good whiff of it because I have the scent ability.
Okay. All right. Well, you want an attempt to survival to track her because that was another option you could have just done.
I'm gonna smell her out.
Yeah.
Smell her out, bro.
When we get closer, yes, but not. Since we have an area, we might as well get there first.
Like a big old whiff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Smells like painter.
Smells like
so you can
glory.
It probably smells a lot like me.
Jarn basically lives a couple blocks away through the network of walkways and stuff in the rooftop areas. In the upper roof area, in like a fourth story kind of belfry area. So it's like probably even smaller of an apartment in a way than the one that you were just in, but it's kind of like a little kind of open to. It's really only easily accessible through the network, of passageways up on this upper floor. So he pretty much exclusively lives up here. And basically, apparently trades and gathers stuff from other people and helps them out and stuff like Anyway, you can make your way there. It's as I said, kind of like steeple area. It's kind of got like a very like a half door in the one side of it, with like it looks like a couple of like planks kind of coming from one of the like walkways that have kind of been built between these things leading up to it, that have been kind of like poorly nailed together and kind of poorly nailed onto the front of where this thing is. So it's like a 2-plank kind of walkway leading up to this kind of like half door on the side of this kind of like steeple area, with like a circular window above it that doesn't really open. And it's kind of got like a big chimney here too, of course, at the top of it here. And it looks like a smaller chimney kind of like attached in next to it that doesn't seem to quite fit with the rooftop. By now it is definitely getting a little darker out. But you can see that there does seem to be some light coming from inside.
Do we want to pause there for break?
Sure, I just noticed the time. It's a great time.
I was actually about to say the same thing.
Yes. I was thinking about it a little earlier with the conversations, but then I forgot. So anyway, if you need a snack, drink, or bathroom break, go ahead and get them, and we're back in a little bit. Unmute us here and here. So everybody's unmuted, and I've made sure to make sure of it this time. And welcome back, everybody. So, you were in front of a door. A half door, but a door nonetheless. Certainly, the larger of you will have trouble getting through this door. It's a half door, you know? It's like one of those tiny kind of squunched down doors.
And this is when we've arrived at this dude, right? At Garen's house? Okay.
Yeah.
Garen.
What is this? A door for halflings?
I will knock on the door.
Yes, yes. What is it?
Does it smell like the person is inside?
I smell her scent.
I can smell you.
Give me a survival check.
Real Pathfinder statements that totally apply and aren't weird at all.
I mean, that's terribly true.
Does it smell? I mean, we've said some
All
weird
I
things.
rolled well for once today.
Whether or not
you smell
Whether
her.
or not her scent, she's in there now, her scent is in this area. Meaning that she either has been in the area recently or is in the area. Relatively recent.
We're looking for our friend, and we believe she's with you. She needs our help.
Friend, you say? Sorry, I don't know many else. Plenty of people visit here over the course of the day, but I mean, up here in the...
What's the name of the lady that sent us here? Baron?
Up here in the shingles, things are always a little quieter than down in the streets. You can hear all the noise coming from down there, but we're just relaxed a little bit up here. Sorry to say for you folks that come from down below. That's what you sound like.
Her friend, enter name of friend that I don't remember. Here.
Bez, if you want to go for the... What's her name?
Her friend Bez said she'd be here.
Sounds like an interesting tale.
How about you let us in so I may spin the tale then, and convince you of our honesty.
Don't let many folks into the place, especially strangers. Talk to the door might be enough, but then again, it might be a little rude.
I look around. Are we all like on the streets?
You're on the rooftops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like we're out in the open. Could people easily hear us?
Probably. Like again, the way to get up to his door is like two slightly large planks that are like, four of them because it's like two planks by like a two planks, but they're like nailed in the middle, nailed on each end, you know, and they're kind of together. It supports weight.
Don't jump on it.
And probably only like one of you's on it at a time. It's kind of that thing of like the rest of you are probably off on like a bridge or like a walkway nearby, rather than only multiple people, because it probably isn't really meant for a lot of people to walk on this thing.
It's rickety.
Yeah.
Some things are best left not heard by the rest of the ears of this world, of our streets.
Well,
believe-
strange traveler, is it just you?
No, there's friends, but if it makes you comfortable, I could enter on my own.
Alright, fine. Come on. He's gonna
I
kind of
appreciate you.
wander over, open up the door. And let me... So, you will see a kind of that an elderly half-elf man. You kind of open the door and let you in. Come in. By the fire, at the very least. Warm yourself up a little bit. Even on these nights, it's getting a little nippy out for everything. I can offer you some weak tea. You need something to drink. So, madam.
Sir?
Glad that you're really here.
Our mutual, soon-to-be acquaintance.
Question. Does he let just him in, or all?
Yes.
Okay.
Lucia. Yeah. Our soon-to-be mutual acquaintance, Miss Sabor, is in deep peril in the city at the moment, and we can provide safety while we discern the truth of the situation of her accusation. I certainly believe she isn't the, at least, main perpetrator of our predicament. I found much evidence of others tampering. But in order to find that, I need her safe. And the city guard will protect her.
You trust the guard?
I trust them enough that they want actual justice. At least the leader does.
Justice is a word that comes and goes very quickly in the city. Justice is usually those that can pay for it more than anything. And young Trina, well, I've heard her tell her plight. And I'm unsure if she really is involved, but as far as she knows, she seems to claim she doesn't know if she's involved. A patsy, a stooge, someone that someone planted something on her. All could be options she isn't aware of. But she does not display it very well. Poor woman. It's been difficult to see about a way to have her safe. Turns out there's another issue with her. One that screams danger. She's not much of a person to save money.
She's in debt.
No,
No?
not necessarily. When you paint for the king, you get a lot of money.
I see.
None of it remains.
That is truly poor finances.
Yes. Well, she doesn't always seem to be the brightest of all the artists around here. More known for her skill than her brains.
Well, luckily she requires no money in our care. But I presume you require something, or someone else does?
What I mean by that is I don't believe that true justice could be had because she doesn't have money to give. What little she could have had to offer and barred her way into some form of action trial doesn't exist. The streets call for blood, anybody's blood, and, willing or not patsy, Trina is a big target.
Of course. We need her alive so we can have the time to find the truth of this matter. Because once she's dead, it's going to be much more difficult to find the track.
If anyone would want to try to approach the door, it would be noticeable with the creaky boards and stuff. But you could go over there to listen if you wanted to.
Stealth.
You fly like an owl.
Go ahead and make a stealth check if you want to try to get closer.
Hell yeah!
It's a pretty good check. You can kind of get a little bit close.
Okay.
Look, I know you're a man of many means, but it's only a matter of time for a mess up to happen, at least within the citadel of the guards. the riders wouldn't have a chance would struggle to get their vengeance.
Your words mean much in your own mind. What I suggest will be something different than just your words.
What do you require of me?
Excellent. Or at least willing to listen, and that's fine. You believe in the justice of the city, yes?
I believe in at least the leader of the guards is respectable.
What I mean is, regardless if she is in one way or not responsible, I do believe from listening to her, and my sense of self, my own knowledges of people, that Trinia herself did not intend to kill the king. At least she didn't know that what she was doing may or may not have. She was told to give something. This information even she wouldn't confess to me about what was going on there. But I do believe she is filled with fear. Fear of death, of persecution, of what's going on here. So if there are secrets to be held, no. Perhaps your guards can find them. But I am worried that even with your guards, as noble as they are, they cannot bring proper justice or protection to someone who very well may not have been directly involved as she knew it, or is just someone that they used, whoever really is targeting the king. Someone else must be involved.
This is true. Almost guaranteed. But what do you suggest then?
Whatever disease the king came about, it was something different, unusual. As the rumors go about, clerics could not cure. The priests could not find a way to undo. That's not something Trinia would find on her own.
It would be far too powerful of magic.
Exactly. I have doubts that Trinia will have any form of justice here. So there is a way to bring a little bit about it. I will arrange for you to find her. But you must send a message to someone and inform them of what's going on.
And who would I need to send this message to?
Blackjack.
Do I know this person?
A local check.
I don't know this person.
Okay.
Not a class skill. Who is Blackjack?
Actually, it probably with Korvosa. Well, but still, you might know.
Oh, if it's DC 10, yeah.
Yeah, it's like DC 10.
Well, I know.
Yeah. You don't know a lot about Blackjack, but Blackjack is an infamous vigilante in Korvosa.
Oh, okay.
Basically, Korvosa's Batman kind of thing, you know, except less costumed and more, you know. Maybe Zorro-y, maybe more.
Never watched One Piece. Oh, not One Piece. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's where my mind went. That's sorry. Wait. In my defense,
I really love that.
There was a recent Netflix announcement that they're gonna redo the first season of One Piece, and that came the news came out yesterday. So that's why it was on my mind. Okay, I haven't watched I don't think I've watched the movie with the dude with the Z since I was like a fucking kid. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fine.
I'm not as old as you motherfuckers. Okay.
Well, I mean, Batman is a knockoff of Zorro, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I turned
Batman's
30 today, so I'm officially old now.
Yeah. So Batman's kind of like your gritty vigilante kind of characters. Like the Zorro, the Blackjack in this case would be a little bit more upbeat, more like person of the people. Not as sort of like, you know, I'm vengeance, I have night, or more like, haha, justice, hoo-ha-hoo-hoo, kind of person, more or less.
I don't know if I've watched Zorro ever.
I mean, Zorro's definitely always more of a, I do what I can just to make sure that the, people who strive for power don't get their way.
Zorro fights fascists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched Zorro ever, so, this is, again...
It's
before my time.
The movie is from the 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the last.
Well, I mean,
piece of-
the
Well,
characters
the
from
most
the
like
1800s.
recent movie, right?
Yeah, the
The-
character's
the-
been around a lot.
the last
the
movie
movie
that came out
people
with
would
Zoro
know
was
of.
2005.
Right?
So look, I literally was barely alive.
How old are you?
No, I don't count being 4 years old alive. Okay, that's all I gotta say. You're a brainless individual. Okay.
I had Zoro on VHS.
It's basically just a dude who fights like dictators.
Yeah.
Evil men.
So in my defense, I think the One Piece Zoro is way more topical for my generation. Okay. That's all I gotta say.
Blackjack is also like, whether it's one man or just one title is unknown, because since Korvosa's founder, there's been a character of Blackjack dressed in this black, helping the poor and downtrodden of Korvosa, basically, or those that don't see justice within the city.
Okay, and what message? Where would I even get a message to him? But what message?
There's a man that perhaps you could inquire would assist you with this. If I were to write a letter, I would need you to deliver it to him. At that point in time, I can give you some information of where you may find Trina. She awaits possible assistance in escaping the city. But without funding, it is very difficult to come about that, and I fear that the mobs will grow close to her. They're not finding her in her midland, and I've managed to move her out to somewhere slightly safer. But even so, if there are not mobs searching for her here, there are mobs about the rest of the city doing other dangerous, violent things, trying to maintain some violent order. So, her hiding place is not secure.
And you would have what? This the Blackjack take her to her safety?
No. You would take them, the woman, to your forces. But if things go wrong, there is but one man within the city that could perhaps extract her and get her out to somewhere safely. If true justice is not done, she becomes a scapegoat for others, or something of the such, which I worry she will become.
I find this most acceptable.
He's gonna actually like go over to like a small table nearby and start writing up something. He's gonna kind of put it into like, I need you to deliver this to a man called Valancaro Osarni. He's a duelist. You may have heard of his name.
I've met with him before.
Rumor is that he has clashed with the man known as Blackjack more than once in his many years. Usually over some idea of justice and how to protect the people. Disagreements. Anybody can contact Blackjack and get this letter to him. It would be him.
A most noble
got a
fight.
big spotlight.
Yeah. Big spotlight has like a club symbol in the sky.
He might be Blackjack. I'm an acquaintance with him, so I can certainly get this delivered.
He will then be like, once you've delivered that, return here, and I'll give you the information about where to find her. If you can arrange for it. She should be in a section. I have to figure out where the docks are for all the city, because she should be in a warehouse and the docks.
There's several docks, but I presume the west docks?
Probably, yeah. Whatever would be a little less outside of
the west docks are closest. The east shore is the probably furthest away from all the problems.
Might be over in a warehouse in East Shore then, because you probably want to ship her to somewhere that would be out of the problems. If there's docks in East Shore, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are docks on the map.
Inside of East Shore.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. I can't remember where all that
It's one big it's one big port, you know.
Okay, yeah, because on the river. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there are some areas that are walled rather than
a very deep water river.
I mean, it's like a mini lake, to be honest, between the docks.
Yeah.
It's so weird there's no dock on the west side.
It might not be deep enough.
Yeah, also
For,
looks
like,
like it might be clipped.
aesthetics, right?
Well, you can see like where the High
Yeah.
Bridge and Jagera River is very deep. So yeah, it's probably like somewhere in the East Shore docks. He's managed to get her into one of the warehouses there. But she fears that like even East Shore, there's still some issues going on. So
Yeah, and she needs to get to like another city, and she can't just fucking walk. That's how you die, as a poor peasant.
Yeah.
You don't make it if you don't have
Anyway.
people.
So,
So you generally don't want your docks on like a shore. You generally want them in a bay. Or
I think
something
The river is like a bay.
the
that's
Jagera
what I
River in
mean.
that
No,
section, is like.
I know
the
that's what
northern
I'm saying. That's why it's probably not like on the coast.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of
Ideally-
this coast looks
Ideally,
like.
you want a deep water harbor, which may not exist on the coast.
I got this map together for people to see on stream.
Map.
Rapu!
Oh,
I will
Maps.
take his letter, put it into a nice pocket, and I will give him a curtsy and then exit the building.
So you can meet up with the rest of them. Ada, sure, you overheard some of that as best you could. You got a general idea of things that's going on.
Oh, okay,
It's not the best building to listen through. I'm just gonna say, so that's why you can probably get.
that's fair.
You got enough to get the basic information. Lucia will come out to the rest of you.
How did it
You see me like right by the door.
I have a letter to deliver to our duelist friends.
right? I don't see how that's relevant.
Once we deliver it to him, we will get the location of our quarry.
We have to come back here.
Yes. But once we deliver it, we will have the information we require.
Well, perhaps we should get the cart. Might make our travels a bit quicker.
not around here.
Where's the
Yeah,
duelist?
did he tell me what section of the city she was in?
So, yes.
Yeah.
She is in East Shore, remember?
Yeah.
Citadel of Volenshenk is right next to the High Bridge near East Shore. So, honestly speaking, when you're going to go collect her in East Shore, you can probably
cart.
grab the cart very easily.
Yeah.
And get out of
Right.
Midland very quickly with it.
Well, where's
I-
the duelist that we're going to meet?
He's in
He's
Old
a-
Korvosa.
Or Korvosa.
Yeah.
So you have to head
He's a-
north into the
It's a-
rest of the city.
Bit of a walk.
Would
well, I could use the
traveling
cardio.
south to get the cart. And then
No,
go
we get the
north
ca-
faster.
No.
Or
we
it's
can't. We
fast.
can't get the part through
We can't-
Midland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Midland's very hard to travel through right now.
But also-
from the
yeah.
Citadel probably to the High Bridge is probably like that area there is probably the most secure. That kind of
Okay.
zone there.
It's also probably easier for us to walk to Old Korvosa than us to get a cart through Old Korvosa.
Yeah, Old Korvosa is probably not great either. Okay.
Alright, you can make your way to meet up with, Valanor Osiri. Certainly he showed you where his school was. You can go up to the door. It seems closed up, but again, like Old Korvosa, there's, it's probably not as violently mobby those first couple of nights, but there's still some violent mobs about doing some things right now, Like the good old days of just a couple of days ago.
As
Good
long
times.
as it's not raining imps and house dragons.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Currently, no. Though probably people will be cleaning them out from various places for weeks after everything's finally calmed down.
You got an imp in my house dragon. You got house dragon in my imp.
Those aren't delicious together.
Yeah, I
Like
recommend
shit.
not eating either.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you make it to his dueling school.
Yeah. I guess we enter. Is it like a whatever the protocol would be?
He doesn't really keep the front doors of the school locked, even though currently it does not look like it's in session at all. Probably maybe.
This is the guy that's friends with the guard captain.
Vansario Osirni is like the most famous duelist in the.
Oh, is that the guy who's drunk in that bar?
No,
that was actually the guy who was drunk in a bar. That was actually one of his students.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the guy that basically was like, "Oh hey, here's some information about the Eel's End. There you go. Okay."
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Friends.
So my character wouldn't really have.
You've met him, you walked with him a little bit, but like...
You talked a little bit.
I know.
Yeah, you chat a little bit.
He seemed nice enough.
My character does know him.
Yeah.
I believe I just have to deliver this
that
letter.
guy. Okay, sorry, my brain finally clicked.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Right.
I don't know if I've had it set up.
Tiny head.
Yeah, I enter his school and I go looking for him.
Okay. Certainly the main like hall for the school, which it has like areas. Like the main room has like training dummies, places for small duels and stuff. It's like a large open hall area. Probably some like simple like practice weapons that are either dolled or wooden. Set up in here. No one in the mobs are foolish enough to try to bother this guy. Honestly, they're smart enough to be like staying away from there. He's got enough of a reputation. No one's bothering him.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But you'll actually see there will be kind of a little light in the back as like you hear a voice like, "Hello, who goes there? Do I have to draw my blade, or is this a friendly visit?"
It's friends.
Come then, come closer. I'd pour you a drink, but I didn't have any other glasses. He seems to have like a bottle out, and like he's halfway through a glass of wine. He seems to be kind of sitting around at a table, just kind of relaxing here under the small light of a candle. Sorry, just a little bit of old reminiscing of the past. When you get to my age, and a lot of things happen, you sometimes reflect negatively on the lost things. What can I do for all of you? Were you successful in your trip to Eels?
Yes.
Relatively so.
Grab. Yes.
We won't bother you too long. I don't want to disturb you. We quite simply have a letter to deliver to you from Jared.
Jared.
We need to get on our way. So
what does that old geezer want?
He requires us to go to a rival of yours, Blackjack.
To think he would call upon Blackjack for anything. John.
It's truly desperate time.
You're nice enough, so perhaps I can let you know in a little bit of a secret.
You're Blackjack?
No.
Oh, I was so thinking that. Sorry.
An interesting thought.
It just seemed like a natural conclusion. You know what I mean? Or
there's a possibility in my mind too, but I wasn't going to go.
It just seemed like a fitting outcome. But yeah, sorry.
Too easy.
Well, I know Blackjack, certainly. Blackjack, myself, and Jaren were all members of an adventuring party in our youth, before Blackjack would have been Blackjack.
Mm-hmm.
We all went our separate ways.
Sorry, just out of game. This guy's a human, right?
As
Yes.
a human, yes.
So it's so funny that him and the half-elf are old at the same time.
Yeah, the half-elf probably was a lot older than him,
Yeah,
you know?
it's just funny how that works. How
Yeah.
they designed that. We used to be adventure party. They're old, but like
Call to adventure
one's not
happens
like.
Look, the call to adventure happens at any age.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that's just quite funny because he had to be substantially older than this guy.
Oh yeah, probably. This guy was probably
a wizard then.
He's a bard. Yeah.
Oh.
But like probably he was like a
He's already
wandering
middle-aged.
bard. He was probably like probably even towards middle aged because he's a half elf, so he doesn't live that long, but longer. And this guy was probably like in his 20s, when they met whoever. They probably had other members of the party, but apparently part of an adventuring party that went on some things. They all moved back here and settled down, being part of schools. Jaren taught at a bard college. This guy formed this school.
Yeah.
Blackjack became a vigilante.
That is actually quite
Blackjack
interesting.
joined the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I've heard of many stories of Blackjack. I never would think that you and him and Jaren were once a party.
There's a lot more to the story of Blackjack, but perhaps one day you'll learn about it. That's not today.
Ivana kind of rolls her eyes at the mention of Blackjack.
You're offended by a vigilante.
My late fiance was a fan.
That's a shame.
Apologies, though. I can sense there's a loss in there. That's the lost loves and lost friends and everything that's lost before. I'll get this letter to Blackjack. See what I can arrange for whatever Jaren needs help with. An old friend gets his...
Doing for the good of some people he's helping.
There are many ways to help people. Sometimes I would say and agree that Blackjack is needed. Sometimes a person like myself or Jaren is needed. And where that line is drawn, well, that's always a hard thing to determine.
Well, if the system works properly, then Blackjack won't be needed.
The system has not worked properly for hundreds of years here.
It's Korvosa.
I don't think it ever worked properly.
There's not...
Agreed.
I don't think any system ever works properly. But I at least believe in our dear dear head of guard. She seems to be Croft seems to be a good woman.
Croft's one of those few exceptions, someone that wants to actually do right by the city.
She's willing to do what needs to be done. Dealing with those... What were the cowhammer boys, the way he dealt with them was necessary.
Sometimes people don't get second chances. But I believe I think we have a person to save. And the longer we wait, the more dangerous it gets.
I understand. Just remember, Korvosa is a dirty city, and try not to get too dirty. We all want to try to keep a little bit of ourselves clean. Just in case.
That's why they make soap!
That's not...
He's going to kind of have a very deep belly laugh when you say that. He's just like,
I do hate to come in
you all
and
do
come
remind
out.
me of my friends and I from our youth.
I do hate just coming in and coming out, but we should probably hurry.
Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
I can kind of skip over. You can get the information from John. There isn't much more to that,
Backtracking.
Yeah, he easily can go back to him, pick it up, and then head and pick up your wagon to head for across the river.
He gave us the exact location instead of just east.
He informed you of a within the East Shore. He had an old friend who has a warehouse in there that, with everything that's been going on, he's actually closed up the warehouse. he was able to arrange for basically keys to the inside for her to stay at. He was going to try to see if he could get someone to help her get out of the city at that point in time. Again, having friends great, having money better. So it has been difficult to even look into getting her out for the past, probably half a day to day now he's working on it.
I just imagine spending a king's worth of gold for a painting, and you have none of it left.
I seriously.
Pretty
You
wild.
just finished the painting. You just finished it.
No, okay, no, I gotta say, she doesn't even have a better place to live. Her apartment is terrible. What she spent it on?
I have
Awful,
no
bro.
idea what she spent it on.
Dude,
I really don't.
She just ate food. So much cheese and meat.
Yeah, apparently,
Oh my god. She just bought a bunch of rosé wine.
She just got mugged a lot.
Yeah.
It's
one magic item.
Spent a lot of time gambling at the Eel's Eye.
Yeah.
No, magic paintbrushes.
all I know is that she spent all that money. I don't know how she did
Kind
it.
of
They don't
impressive,
tell-
What?
honestly.
Well, maybe she bought her apartment.
Yeah, they don't tell you how she spent it. She's she somehow managed to. She's not really good with money and managed to spend all of it. And I'm like, what?
Oh my god, you know what? She probably bought a bunch of experimental paint.
Very expensive paint, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
No,
probably-
she invested in.
High-end brushes, high-end paints, high-end canvases.
Yeah, fancy
I
stuff
was
for
gonna
her
say,
position.
In Korvosa.
I was gonna say she just she kept getting sold goose eggs. Just so
Oh,
have
she ate
this,
quail eggs and stuff, yeah.
I was more just meant I forget what the term is, but it's basically
A golden egg from an egg from a golden goose.
magic
egg.
beans. That's the word I'm going for.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, kept getting sold magic beans, where she's like, "Oh, this thing seems valuable," and it's really just a piece of junk.
He will give you the key to it because he had given her one key and had one other key that she was going to send someone to get her at some point in time. Because he had someone that he had trusted when he was finally done arranging things to it. They could also send that person if things were going to take longer to give her some supplies and stuff. So she's like, well, here's the keys. Good luck to you. So you can easily arrive at the warehouse. It is a large warehouse towards the docks. It's got a symbol of a merchant company on it. It's closed up. There is kind of the main doors, which would be kind of opened up for large shipping in between ships or to send out on to the main gates and stuff to travel inland. And of course, there's a smaller door next to it, which you have the keys for. You have been informed where she would probably be hiding in here, as there is a old box towards the back, which is generally used. It's known about, but it's also accepted that there's a place that's kind of a little hangout for employees in the back when they are on break, where they can what's the word for gamble and basically imbibe drinks. They're technically off duty, but they probably shouldn't be doing that before getting back to duty. The person in charge basically has been turning a blind eye to it because they haven't messed up yet. That kind of thing, Get some drinking and gambling in on your midday break or something, or your lunch break or kind of thing. So that you're any kind of break you get.
Now, was Khandes a hard worker, or did he take as much time in the back room as possible?
I was a hard worker.
Khandes probably doesn't know about the back
He did
room.
both.
You might have worked here sometime, but you probably don't know about the back.
Khandes didn't work in the east, sure.
Yeah,
Khandes
probably not
worked
at least.
West
Actually,
Docks there.
he probably
Or
put
Old
on the
Docks.
old
Old
docks
Docks,
or.
yeah.
But even if he did work here, he was more focused on doing what actually needed to be done and not jerking around.
Yeah, I'm probably working Old Dock and West Dock.
Who's the most who's the least threatening looking of this group?
Not me.
It's either you or me.
I think I am. I'm
You do have
Ding.
one less. You do have one less strength than me.
Yeah, that's a big strength difference.
You're also just naturally intimidating.
But
so...
I'm also very tiny.
Yeah, well, I'm also short.
I think we just go in together. The two
Yeah,
most
like
the two least threat.
I got resting pleasant face.
Yeah, leave the beefcakes outside.
I mean, I was gonna listen at the door first just to make sure there's nothing going on inside.
I personally think we should send Ada first.
Yeah, the
that'll
horrifying
go.
dragon monster. That's
The
gonna
actual monster.
that's gonna go over well. I think we just knock on the door and answer.
I hear nothing.
Like, I don't see a problem.
And,
Just
yeah, I knock on the door.
There's no response?
I say
I
I'll
don't
say
think she's just gonna open.
Yeah, she's like in the back of the entire warehouse.
yeah.
The
We're
door
just
is, like,
announcing our presence.
They gave
okay?
you a key.
I
Yeah.
go in.
We're just
Okay.
announcing our
Inside.
presence first.
I
so
understand.
She doesn't get
Like,
fucking
you're gonna head
freaked
back
out.
towards where you were.
I have a weasel on my shoulder.
Yeah, I got a little gecko. I will kind of like whisper yell.
Mhm.
Jaren sent us to help.
Who are you?
I'm Lucia, and this is Ivona. We have a couple friends, but we can get you to somewhere safe. You might not exactly like where the safe place is, but it is safe. And Jaren is setting up other measures to guarantee your safety. But I just need you to trust us.
Roll a diplomacy check.
Godspeed.
Blessed seed right now. Roll 20.
Okay.
I think I rolled once this session. Haven't needed.
You
You're
rolled
relatively well
I think
today.
I rolled.
No, you
all
didn't.
the
Yeah.
time.
No, you did. No,
You
open
rolled-
close. You did
Sometimes,
open close.
sometimes you still
There isn't
gotta
a
roll
lot
this
of
session.
rolls this session in total, though, to be fair.
I'm a wizard. None of my checks have come up.
Honestly, Sal, you've rolled above average today.
It's a good day. It's a good day
It's
for
good
Sel.
day. Good
Mhm.
day.
I-
Those are rare.
You burned all your
Rare
bad luck
are
on Baldur's
please.
Gate last night.
Holy shit, do not mention that, okay?
Please, just forget that you were looking for me. I'm safe here.
No,
I can get
You're
out.
not
Look,
safe.
I'm sorry. I didn't do anything. I don't know how the
look at
king
me.
died.
Look at me.
I don't want to die. They're gonna kill me. I can't
Jaren?
go out there.
Jaren has Blackjack prepared to get you out.
Who?
He is a friend of his that is known for skirting the laws of the Korvosa to get people to do what is right.
Then I
But-
should just wait for him.
The thing is, we have to at least try to do things correctly.
Huh? Please. She's gonna start tearing up, probably kind of moved towards her during this time, so you can see. Oh, I've got an image of her.
Is it a crying image?
No, it's not a crying image.
Better have like the widest eyes possible. Like total fear and shock.
Uh-huh. There's like
It'll be an
sneeze.
outrageous picture, I swear.
I feel like this picture will allow us to know exactly
That's
how
it.
she lost her
Let's
mind.
switch
Yeah.
Oh, she has like a million jewels. She's like
Like
dripped
that
the fuck
Simpsons
out.
episode where Homer's covered in jewelry.
That's my other outfit.
Oh. I think I marked something and didn't switch it, so you can do that for that. For you. Okay. There we go. There. And it's on the wheels there. There you go. There she is.
Yeah, what
He's
fair?
an anime character.
That's like that's
This
like
is the...
That is a
I don't
woman.
know. Where the fuck are her shoes?
she's
Why is
Doesn't
she?
need 'em.
Why is she shoeless?
Well, I think I know what I've been
Remember?
smelling to track her.
she's got those out for free.
Bro, dude, they're painted toenails. Bro, look,
Against Twitch TOS.
Trina, Trina.
Is that her actual image from the book?
This is an image of her. Yes. There's a couple of different images. I think that's one of the older ones. I can have the.
Okay.
I could look some ones. But yes, this is what she looks like.
Look, Trina, I know it's a very tough time right now, but we're on your side. But you need to put some faith into us and your friend and Jaren that everything will work out. Okay? We know someone else did this, but we need to try to find them. If anyone outside of this warehouse finds you, you won't make it.
Fine. Let's just go before things get worse.
Now, how tall is she?
Maybe slightly higher than average human female. I don't know.
Like
Okay, yeah.
6,
I
5
take
foot
I take off my cloak, like my
Mhm.
robe, like my big robes.
Mhm.
Put these on, cover your face.
Okay.
And we'll take her to the wagon.
So, you'll be able to travel the wagon, and honestly, it'll be very easy to get her to the proper location, into the Citadel. So arriving at the Citadel, you'll be greeted by Cressida Croft, bringing the wagon, and they will take her into custody, Trini into custody. And Cressida will thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, but there is something else that may have come up that I wasn't going to address you with, but because of two of you here, maybe I should hand it over to you.
What is it?
I perk up at that. I think I know where that's going.
Oh yeah, here's this like 1,000 gold piece magic item I bought. That's where all my money went. It's a headband of intelligence. It told me that I was making financially bad choices.
Two of us.
Oh, no.
What's going on with the shrunk?
Have you heard of a man named Thousand Bones?
What a name! Holy shit!
Adds up.
I have not, but has Khandes.
Knowledge local?
You don't even need to roll knowledge.
Oh.
Local.
You just
Um,
know, bro. It's you, bro.
Thousand Bones is the head of the Shawanti here in Korvosa, basically.
Oh, that's probably who I
Yes.
got my ceremony done with.
Yes. He's been the one working in Korvosa to keep the two groups peaceful, basically. The groups of Shawanti that are living here. Shawanti.
I might actually know. I might have.
Yes.
That.
You might have heard of his name before.
Yeah.
He's been basically trying to paint a better picture for the Korvosan people of the Shawanti and things like that. So, yes. Thousand Bones, unfortunately, came to me about an hour ago. Or at least one of my guards. This morning, while you were busy with the ambassador, while the announcement was made of the assassin, the mobs began to form. Plenty of them were searching for, of course, the young woman you found, Khandes. Plenty of them were looking for some form of justice. Some of them were not.
We're looking for escape.
Yes. And someone was killed. was a Shuanti. A young warrior named Gekken. Gekken was his grandson. He's not happy.
Well, what would you have us do?
Khandes, Ada, Roshan, you've been working with me. You know that we're trying our best to maintain the city, and I understand hostilities are high now. We need someone that is willing to speak with him. I was going to arrange a meeting with me personally, and I need someone like you to accompany me. The rest of you can come along too, since you're all working together.
It'll probably be good. It'll probably be good to have cities and Shanti, those from the city and those from Shanti working together to help resolve this.
Agreed.
There's more to this than it seems meets the eye. But get some rest. We'll be going in the morning. I'm just thankful that you're here. The meeting will be then.
Does a question. Do the Shuanti live majority in the old section of the city? Old Korvosa?
Probably. I don't know for sure where the majority of the Shuanti population is. Probably plenty of them are Korvosa, but I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any? Yeah. Well, the logic of my question is, does House Arcona have a reason to want to get the Shuanti people out of the city? But it seems probably not necessarily.
A lot of people just don't like Shuanti people.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I've always gotten.
So the plan will be tomorrow morning. 1,000 Bones, along with his delegation, as he is technically an ambassador. Technically, even though like there's that population of Shuanti who leads the city.
He's a cultural ambassador.
He's a cultural ambassador. Will be arriving to discuss it, because he basically is. The message he sent is not a friendly one. We'll put it that way. He seems quite upset.
That's
Well,
fair.
yeah, I mean, you kill one of his family members, I don't think he's going to be, happy.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, a bunch of rioters kill his family members. Not, not
Yes.
any.
Well,
Literally,
I'm just saying, someone killed his family member. He's not going to be happy.
I'll be pretty mad. I concur. I agree. I'd be pretty mad too. Well, probably not. But.
Man, who in this party could ever know what it's like to have one of your family members absolutely killed by something? It's like all of our backstories or something.
Yeah, listen.
For you, technically.
So, alright, so yeah, I can do that. But I think that'll be a great place to leave off with this, big Shuanti event, because, you guys never get a chance to rest, but that's kind of how things are going in the city.
Definitely a big flaw of this one is that you don't get rest time.
Honestly
we haven't
speaking,
spent any resources.
well, the thing is, I could probably give you more rest time, but I'm just trying to keep the story flowing a little bit too. So like if you guys wanted a little bit of rest time for some things, just let me know and I can arrange things for stuff.
Well, it's also, the city's in utter chaos. It makes kind of sense. There's not much time to
Hey, I might have a couple moments of me screenshot of your spellbook. I might copy something down.
Yeah.
No,
Cause,
sorry,
like-
there's no time.
Because like technically most of these events are like next time you arrive, or like hey, you could give like a night's rest or something before talking about it, that kind of thing. So like technically speaking, I could have addressed you tomorrow morning and had you rest, but I'm like, she heard the message.
It would have been the same thing of, hey, today we're reading.
But I can kind of like open it up for like what you're planning on for next time. So I feel like we could do this.
Yeah.
We're a little early, but I think that's perfect time to leave off, and we can have the meeting with 1,000 Bones and why he's kind of unhappy, because I will tell you what's happened is, not only was his grandson murdered, his body was stolen from the scene of the crime.
Nice.
Oh, that was definitely intentional then. This was not...
And that's one of the main reasons he's really pissed off. Because not only is his grandson killed, he can't send him to proper rest.
I'm gonna need to request a locate object scroll. Start casting some spells.
Anyway, but be ready for next time, because we're going to get into the, at least for now, technically speaking, you could meet the first dungeon in this area.
I was not joking. I request a locate object scroll.
Probably can't go into this. But
Fuck, I can't buy one.
We're pretty damn close to the end of the first book here, actually.
Wow. Oh, I guess we level up to 4 midway through the dungeon.
No. After the dungeon, there's one more thing that's kind of like maybe like part of the entire thing, and the dungeon's not a big dungeon overall.
After the dungeon, the actual plot starts.
Yeah. Then we get into the conclusion of the chapter. There are 2 kittens fighting behind me.
Good. Those kittens.
Oh my god, they're vicious monsters.
I know. I just noticed the 2 of them were behind me. I don't know how long they've been here. They snuck in.
They're viciously fighting to the death.
They feel like wrestling at each other. Anyway, yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed this entire little thing of finding the would-be assassin, even though, at least from the things that she says and the way that it sounds like, perhaps she wasn't a meaningful assassin.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. She's not. Yeah. Listen.
She is Bard. She has some levels of Bard.
You know, listen, hey.
Bard
don't
Could have
necessarily
viciously
smart.
mocked the king to death.
Sadly, not a feature in this edition.
While painting him, just like, you're ugly.
And it's undetectable. It's psychic damage. You can't really, listen.
Yes, use psychic damage to kill them. Anyway.
Listen, could they diagnose a brain hemorrhage? I don't think so.
I feel like they probably could.
I mean, yeah, probably. But listen,
I do want to say, from my quick reading, it seems that most Shanti are in the East Shore.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. East Shore and the Thief Camp.
Good to know.
Yeah. They exist all throughout the city, though. It's just that's their... apparently that's the highest concentration.
Probably because the East Shore is more closest to on land, the mainland kind of thing. Probably where they'd be coming in.
I have many thoughts about what House Arcana might gain from the getting rid of the Shanti, but let's not drag out our end scene.
If you think about the East Shore, the Thieves' Camp's also kind of the outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like we're going to be here, but we're going to kind of keep to ourselves.
That's probably where the main cultural stuff is. Yeah. But
yeah.
More than likely, he was probably mobbed to death in Old Korvosa or somewhere a little farther off from the main group. It's a grandson. He could be living anywhere.
I do want to say there's cultural relics all throughout Korvosa that have been built on top.
There's a gigantic goddamn pyramid in the center of the city.
No, I was skimming through the Guide to Korvosa book, and there's apparently 3 other Shoanti important locations that were just built on top of.
Maybe if the Shuanti didn't want them built on top of, they should just burn down the things there.
Maybe they shouldn't have been
they tried that a few times.
Maybe just get better at burning things down.
It's kind of hard to burn a pyramid.
Burning things down shouldn't be your first go-to.
It shouldn't be, but apparently it is now. Anyway, why don't we give some shout-outs? Joseph, do you have anything to shout out?
Happy holidays!
That's always a good thing to shout out. Sale, how about you? That's also a good thing.
I took your job, Joe.
Oh no!
How did it feel?
Sad.
Chirps.
But I still got a classic Khandes line in today, so that's my goal. I have to get one of those a day.
Just Khandes says something that seems like it's probably just like this feels like a mistranslation. Anyway, do you have anything to shout out?
Me?
Yeah.
I shout out Cats.
They are
The
good.
musical.
Ah,
The
Ah!
musical? God.
Wait, the musical movie or the actual musical?
There's a movie?
The one with Taylor Swift. And,
we're gonna
some
go
other
for the
people.
actual musical, which is
Okay,
pretty decent.
that's
not
fine
the-
to shout
not
out.
the-
That I
not-
agree with. The
That's why I
horrifying
pretend
musical.
the movie doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the horrifying
good
movie does not count.
Yeah, it's got Idris Elba in it.
It's still horrifying.
How about you?
I shout out those two cats in your room. Also watch Discussing Tabletop. Also, like, Happy Holidays. Don't do anything
Also-
stupid.
Play Alan Wake 2.
Play
Do
Alan Wake
everything
2.
stupid.
Play Alan Wake 2.
And Worm.
I'm Diamond Worm. You can find me on twitch.tv/DiamondWorm or @DiamondWorm on Twitter. It's my birthday today.
Happy
I'm
birthday.
Ooh.
Shout out
Happy
to Worm's birthday.
Boomer.
I
That's
almost
how
got
that
this to
works.
work.
Listen.
I misspelled things.
You know, listen. The moment you say that, that makes you a real boomer. Okay.
See, it's
There-
a
That's fair.
mindset.
Yeah, it's not about being the age of a boomer, and the fact that you think it's that makes you a boomer.
It's the
I'm a
boomerang of the
boomerang.
universe. Myself, Dracovin.
Get off my
If
lawn.
you want to check out more of this, every Wednesday, 9 p.m., join us for the show. Other tabletop stuff. I do Tuesdays, Thursdays in the afternoon, usually between 1 and 2, sometimes earlier, many times later, just because of life schedules. Pathfinder stuff on Thursdays, random stuff on Tuesdays, and also some World of Darkness stuff on Saturday mornings around 11 o'clock. Go check that out. Discussing Tabletop Saturdays at 6 p.m. Gaming stuff Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays in the mornings, if you just want to check that stuff out. And that's kind of all the basic shout-outs on the YouTube side, which are probably more people watching this on YouTube than Twitch, but, you know, you can watch on either one of them. And remember to give all the various supports, follows, subscriptions, likes, all that kind of stuff, to give the support to the channel. And, I have a Discord and Twitter. Check those out. Those are the social media stuff I do. Most of it's now just random kitten pictures, because I keep taking them. And
Good.
then,
It all
shout-outs when I'm
returns
doing stuff.
kitten.
Look,
Fair enough.
I've been
they're
retweeting your
photogenic.
kitten pictures when I see them. They're
Yeah.
All cats are photogenic.
Untrue.
That's
I've never
true.
seen
Some
one
of
that's
them
not.
are. I
Some
have
of them
seen-
are like photogenic in the way that they're just so unphotogenic that they're photogenic.
One of my
That's
dogs
wrong.
is very photogenic. The other one's not.
That's not
Hey.
a photogenic cat.
I'm going to say to everyone out there, have a great rest of your evening. Again, I hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully you can join us next week for more of this. And until that time, I say farewell to all of you out there. Bye, everybody!
That is a Dr. Seuss
Oh,
cat.